Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to Soul Guidance with Adriana. I'm a spiritual life coach, and I help you choose growth. Doing things a little differently today. We are starting with a theme for your reading from an animal oracle deck, and then I have a completely new spread for you as well. We have card number 21, Protection, the Lioness. This is actually not just lioness, but the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. I'm not quite sure how to say it. Message with this card is about understanding what protection is. This means expressing your emotions wisely and with vulnerability. It means believing that you are protected, but also understanding that in order to protect ourselves, we need to understand what power is. That power involves sometimes, giving out, but sometimes restraint. It's developing that strength to know which one is which. And in protecting ourselves, we can truly protect others. So interesting things to think about crowning your reading. Let's look at your first cards. We are starting with 9 of Swords, anguish, and let me look at where you're headed. 6 of Roots, altruism. The 9 of Swords is appearing to me as an unwillingness to move on. And if you are connected to Scorpio, please check out the Scorpio reading. There's a similarity here. An unwillingness to move on from the past. A full awareness of what the past was and what the past meant to you, but for some reason, just an unwillingness to move on from there. And I believe what the 6 of Roots is asking you to do is tell a different story of your past. Tell the story of your past in a way that contributes. Let's start with that. In a way that contributes. Your story is something that adds to the collective awareness, the collective wisdom, the collective consciousness. All of our experiences down here are so fascinating because whatever we go through, positive or negative, it gets extracted and put back in essentially an energetic database on the other side for not only source to expand, but for other souls to learn from. And I just feel like you're being asked to look at your experiences as something which might help someone else. Yes, it may have meant a loss for you. Yes, it may have meant that you suffered or that you felt a deep grief. And all of that is true. But how does that then help someone else? And here we get back to the idea of protection. You can protect someone else by sharing your story, your truth with them, sharing your experience, and then that gives them a chance to learn from what you went through so that perhaps either they don't have to make the same choice you did, or if they do decide to make the same choice you're making, they can have a different experience because either they'll pick up something different about it, or they might navigate through a little differently because they're remembering your wisdom. It's taking your awareness away from your experience and trying to make it meaningful for someone else. And in teaching someone else how to protect themselves so that they don't have to suffer, you're actually going to find a transformation happening within you, because in telling that story, you are going to realize how you can then protect yourself in the future. So you kind of get a double benefit here. They're only getting the benefit of your story, but when you tell your story, something alchemical happens, something magical happens, and you realize, oh, there was some wisdom there that I didn't realize just in the way I was telling myself the story. In telling someone else the story, you actually get benefit back. So that's really fascinating. This idea of interconnected protection. All right, let's look at significant energy coming in. Inspiration, the Ace of Feathers or the Ace of Wands. And I'm drawn to hold this up again too because of all the light shining on these two cards. That when you can move away from these stories, you get that flash, that divine inspiration coming down. And this allows you to begin a new path that looks forward rather than backward. And that sounded really trite coming out of my mouth. But what this means is that because of the experience of sharing your story with the intention to protect someone else, it gives you a sharper and clearer vision that looks farther. It's like it enhances your eyesight. I forget what it is. 2020 is perfect, right? But what's the one where you can kind of see beyond that? That's what I'm talking about. Like your sight is even better than it has to be. This lightning illuminates the path even farther down. So you have more protection on your path. Our card again, you have more illumination through this sharing of your story differently. You're more protected than you were before. And you're also able to see farther down the road. And that is really interesting. I keep saying that, but this is just such a fascinating reading. Let's pull together your healing message. Death, 13:4. So the healing message of this whole reading, I'm going to hold up our lioness as well, is that we are looking to get through a new door. We are looking to transform. We are looking to change. We are looking to let go of where things were in the past. But I also feel like this death card for you is talking about a totally new level of consciousness, a totally new way of living, way of being, essentially. It's more than just like, okay, an opportunity opens for you, get a promotion. It's a lot deeper than that. This protection, invoking the self-protection through showing someone else how to protect themselves, it gives you a totally different way of going through the next phase of your life. Things are not going to be as surprising, or you're not going to be caught off guard. You're going to see things coming much farther off. You're going to see things coming like a mile off because you're entering this new path from a place of protection, whereas before you may not have been protected or not feeling protected. I think that's the thing. There was not the belief that you were protected, even though, your guides were protecting you. But now aligning with the energy of protection gives you a different confidence, a different way of expressing your personal power, and a different way of expressing your light, because you're not afraid that the wind is going to blow it out. You're not afraid that the wrong look from someone is going to completely dampen your spirits, or you're not afraid that the wrong word is going to punch you in the gut and take out all your energy. You're not afraid of that anymore. So this whole experience has given you a fearlessness on your path, and we wouldn't expect anything different from a lioness-headed goddess, right? A fearlessness on your path, no matter what is going to unfold, no matter what is going to open up, because you have integrated, invited, and begun to embody this idea of protection and self-protection. This completely changes the next phases of your journey for you. All right, Sagittarius, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your time and energy with me. I will look forward to seeing you next time, and have a great week.